Down 6 runs early, the A's slowly came back. With a combination of some home run power and the bullpen, Bob Melvin and the boys delivered the knockout blow in the 8th inning as Jed Lowrie capped off his 4-for-4 night with a go-ahead RBI single. It's been another solid road trip for the Green and Gold, and tonight they will look for their 7th win on the 10-game trip. A's and Tigers, and it starts right now. Well, it is a warm, humid night here at Comerica Park, and we're trying to keep the rain away again. I think we're going to be okay. And Chris Facet back from the minor leagues. He will make the start tonight for the Athletics. It's the A's and the Detroit Tigers coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. With Daniel Migden going to the disabled list, it is Chris Bassett back up, Ray, and he's going to get the start tonight. Yeah. He was very good in his first start. The next 2 starts, not so good. What are we going to see from Bassett tonight?
How about some run support? Because he can pitch. He's coming off Tommy John surgery, and I like the fact that he went back to minor leagues. He knew he was up here to be a long man. He came back, he started, and then all of a sudden he gets hit in Chicago. He's okay from that. He goes back to minor leagues. So he's been kind of a yo-yo back and forth, but I think the opportunity given to him, mainly because of Migden going on the disabled list. Let's see if he can do something, because the A's are scoring runs. Unfortunately, with him pitching, they have not. Hopefully that will change tonight.
The career year for Jed Lowrie continues. 13 homers, 53 RBIs, and Ray, a whole bunch of big hits, including one last night.
You know, it's amazing. He wears the double ear flap, which is a minor league thing, but he's always done that because he's a switch hitter. He always talks about getting some at-bats right-handed against lefties. He did it last night. First 3 hits. How about this? Opposite field home run. He turns around then when Shane Green comes to the ball game. Remember, on Thursday he had a slider for a home run. He told us after he's thinking about not seeing that slider again. He gets the fastball. He said, I'm just trying to hit the ball to the right side to advance the runner to third. Matt Joyce, who led off for the double, he gets him in. A's win a ball game. Jed was 4-for-4. Just a tremendous night for him. He is having a great year.
Indeed, he is tied for 4th in the American League with those 53 RBIs. And the A's 6-2 on the road trip with 2 more to play, and they have a chance to have what could be a sensational road trip. When we come back, we will hear from the guys in the A's pregame live studios, and then we'll come back to Comerica for the ball game.
designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box.
Well, that is Mike Fiers. He's the starting pitcher tonight for the Tigers as he leads his teammates out onto the field for Game 3 of this 4-game series between the A's and the Tigers. Let's check the game time weather for tonight. It's presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. It's a nice night, a little bit humid actually. 76 degrees. There are some rain clouds around us, and they're going to be here for maybe the first hour or so, so hopefully it will stay away. And I don't think we're going to have any problems, but if there are any, it would be early on in the game. Let's take a quick look at the A's lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Fowler, Joyce, Lowry, Davis, Olson, Piscotti, Pinder, Barreto, and Fegley. That's your A's starting lineup. So Mike Fiers has finished his warm-up tosses. Dustin Fowler's ready, and so are we. So here is the first pitch of the ball game from Comerica Park, and it's inside. So we're underway, 7:10 local time. Dustin Fowler at 261. He's got 4 home runs. He's knocked in 15. And there's the first strike of the game.
The only difference for Mr. Fiers is that he's normally indoors. Doesn't have to worry about rain. A's saw him a lot with the Houston Astros, but Mike Fiers now with the Tigers.
Swing and a miss. That's Lance Barksdale. He's going to be calling balls and strikes. Addington at first, Little at second. Ted Barrett is the crew chief, and there is Ted Barrett. He is down at third.
Big Ted Barrett. Big man. He controls everybody.
This one's popped up. It looks like it's going to be playable for Candelario in front of his own dugout, and he makes the catch.
Nice start for Mike Fiers against the Athletics. A lot of those coming with the Astros and signed with the Tigers. And one of the reasons they'd like to spin rate on his curveball. But Mike Fiers also a veteran in a rotation, getting an opportunity to pitch for the Tigers as he makes his 15th start. But experience against the Athletics, and the A's know exactly what he throws, and that is basically a fastball, cutter, curveball, slider, and changeup.
And here Fiers is facing Matt Joyce. First pitch fouled straight back by Joyce. Matt playing left field tonight, 198 the average. He's got 7 home runs.
Kev, I think one thing the A's would like to do is get an early lead, not have to depend on coming from behind late. I mean, those are things that happen in a ball club. You get confidence that you can score late, but the bottom line, take that confidence at the beginning of a game and try to score early and let your pitcher relax a little bit. Especially a pitcher who doesn't get a lot of run support, as we detailed with Chris Bassett.
1-1 the count to Joyce, with Jed Lowry waiting in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Mike Fiers signed that 1-year deal with the Tigers in December of this past offseason, a 1-year $6 million deal. He's 33 years old.
Nice to be a veteran. Nice to have some years under your belt so you can command that kind of a salary as a free agent.
It's a line drive to left. Coming in is Jacoby Jones, and he makes a nice running catch. So 2 outs here in the first inning. Defensively for the Tigers, you see Jones in left field. Martin is in center. Castellanos in right. Candelario. Iglesias is back in there at short. Goodrum slides over to second. John Hicks is at first. And Grayson Grainer is the catcher tonight. Grayson Grainer. So 2 outs, and here's Jed Lowry. Quite a night last night for Lowry. He was on base all 5 times. Went 4 for 4. And he knocked in the go-ahead run late. And the A's won the game 9-7. So Lowry now 288 is the batting average, 13 home runs and 53 runs batted in. Lowry has 21 doubles. He's got an on base percentage of .345. He's got a slugging percentage of .487. Down the left field line, foul territory, and Candelaria cannot quite make the catch.
Jed Lowry, who homered off Green on Thursday, got a fastball and the pitch outside, and he just went to the right side. And again, as he told us after the game, the fact that he had a pretty good idea, was not going to get the slider that he hit for the home run on Thursday, got a fastball instead, and you can see where he stands right now with the multi-hit games. He's having quite a season. That is Nicholas Castellanos, the right fielder, with 30.
Lowry has 90 hits, and this is game number 81 for the A's. And he's a polite young man, that Jed Lowry. Did you hear him say thank you?
Yeah. What a great microphone we have down there.
He asked for time.
Yeah.
Lance Barksdale gave it to him, and Jed said thank you.
Thank you.
This one is going to be in play, shallow left. That's Iglesias, and Iglesias makes the catch. So Mike Fiers has a 3-up, 3-down first inning. No score after a half an inning. Martin, Candelario, Castellanos. And then it's Martinez, Goodrum, Hicks. It's Griner, Iglesias, and Jones. That's your Tiger starting lineup.
Well, Chris Bassett last pitched against these Tigers back in 2016. And he remembers it because right after that's when he had Tommy John surgery. So we just say that quickly and get it out of the way because Chris Bassett is healthy, making his fourth start, looking for some run support. As he made the start at Chicago, took a ball off his right, or making his left wrist, his glove hand, which he said was sore and hurt, but it's his non-throwing hand. Went down to AAA, comes back to the DL of Daniel Mingden. And let's hope he does well. Let's hope he pitches well against the Tigers and hope he gets some run support.
Facing Leonis Martin, the first pitch. It goes off. I think that was the shin guard of Lance Barksdale, the umpire, because it rolled up the first base line.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're right.
Ow.
Right shin guard. That's why they wear shin guards.
Joyce coming in. Matt Joyce is there. So one out here in the bottom of the first. Here's what the A's look like defensively tonight. You see Matt Joyce, he's in left field. Fowler is in center, Piscotty's in right. Lowry's at third. Franklin Barreto is at shortstop tonight. Chad Pinder's at second. Matt Olson's at first. Josh Fegley is the catcher. Marcus Semien gets the night off, which does not happen very often. And Bob Melvin says, when I do give him the night off, which is hardly ever, he doesn't, Marcus doesn't like that.
No, and he's not the type of guy to talk so much that you want to get him off the bench.
See, he's okay now, but like not playing will start to hit him about the third inning, and then by the fifth inning, he's going to be staring at Bob.
You see that bubble gum at 300 pieces? It'll be down to 100 by the time the game is over.
2 bags of seeds. His stomach will start to hurt. He'll get a stomach ache. Jamer Candelario, 1-1 the count to the switch inning third baseman for the Tigers. Candelario's had a good series. He's 4 for 8. And a couple of hits in each series.
You notice Chris Bassett pitching out of the stretch.
Right center and hit pretty well. Piscotti and Fowler right where that right center field wall goes back, and it gets really big out there, and that's a long out. Well, tonight any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
I mentioned before that long drive, fortunately caught by Fowler in right center, but Bassett, when he was with the A's and starting before, he was out of the windup. A lot of moving parts, and he did go back to AAA for a little while, but comes back tonight making the start out of the stretch. Of course, he's gone back and forth. Before he had the Tommy John surgery, he was pitching out of the stretch with a kind of an abbreviated wind-up, but more of the conventional stretch now. See more and more pitchers doing that, especially those with a lot of moving parts in the wind-up. Whatever works for Chris Bassett.
Oh, 1 to Castellanos. Castellanos at 308. 10 home runs and 45 runs batted in. Oh and 9 in his last 13 starts. He needs a win.
Yes, he does.
There's a strike. Castellanos third in the league in hits, tied for third in the league in doubles with 25. Got 96 hits, 3 triples. Big season for Castellanos. And that one is hooked down the left field line, headed for the corner, and it is fair. Picked up in the corner by Joyce, and Castellanos has a 2-out double.
If there's ever a time to throw a breaking ball hard, this is the guy to throw it to. You let him. Watch how he kind of plants the foot, slow curveball, and just very, very strong inside part of the plate. Planted the front foot, stayed back long enough to drill the ball down the left field line. Fortunately, and I say fortunately, it had some top spin, and it went for a double instead of a solo home run down the line.
26th double of the year for Castellanos. Hey, Pitchcast tonight brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. Watching Castellanos with his swing, and I was trying to think last night who it reminded me of. And I know you said J.D. Martinez, and it does. You know who else it reminds me of is the third baseman for the Cubs, Chris Bryant, where he releases the bat real high after contact is made. Chris Bryant does the same thing.
And right there, especially to do it exactly that way. Chris Bryant kind of lays his bat horizontal to the ground, and he gets to watch because he's on the DL.
That's right, he gets the sore shoulder.
And just went on the DL.
So this is Victor Martinez. Tough night last night for Martinez. He was 0 for 5, and he came up a couple different times with the chance to do damage, but the A's were able to retire him. Shift on, Pinder's well out into shallow right field. First pitch is a strike down at the knees. Victor Martinez, the final year of his long-term contract he signed with the Tigers. In fact, if I remember correctly, he was a free agent and then he re-signed with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Got a .356 career batting average against the Athletics. Highest career average versus the ace, Tim Naring.
Just quickly looking at Altuve.
He's not up there yet?
Yeah, he's number 10. So he's the only one active other than Victor.
How about Placido Polanco, remember?
Oh, yeah.
He was 2 for 3 or 3 for 4 every game against the A's.
Before the game started.
He had 2 hits by the first
Yeah,
inning.
exactly.
Placido Polanco.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And if he could sing opera, it would be Placido.
Yes. Maybe it was. I could be saying it wrong.
Well, I mean, it could go either way, but his was exactly like you said. Placido Domingo, though, was a great opera singer.
Fouled straight back.
I would not put the bat in Victor Martinez's hand too often in these situations because he's just too good. I mean, he uses the whole field, and they're planning to pull from the hitting from the left side. Remember last night when he turned around and bat right-handed against Booker, they were playing him straight up. There's 3 to the right side, the overshift. And the problem with Jed Lowry, he's got to play somewhat close to third. Although if Castellanos does steal, it's immaterial because there are already 2 outs in the inning. The hitter is the key.
2-2. Bassett delivers and jam shot. Count remains even. That's Nico Goodrum, the on-deck hitter. 3 switch hitters in the Tigers lineup. Last night they had 4.
You know, I think this is where a pitcher really has to pay attention to the hitter. Victor Martinez is smart enough to look out and see the shift, the overshift, and you have to pitch him according to where your defense is playing. That'll work.
Shallow center. That's Barreto. Now Joyce calls Barreto off, and Matt Joyce makes the catch, and that will do it. A runner left for the Tigers.
And as always, the A's are always in it. They are proving that by scoring late in games. They're down, and so many people are leaving their seats. It must be raining again, but they expect it around this time. But the A's right now, yeah, you want to take advantage of a team that's struggling, but definitely not take them too lightly.
First pitch to Chris Davis, fouled straight back. Davis, Olsen, and Piscotty here in the second inning.
Oh, that's a big time A's umbrella. So much for the fans around them.
So just a Still light rain. 1-1 the count.
Is that what it was last night?
Light rain. Well, it was a light rain because the A's were down.
Yeah. And it stopped, and the A's took the lead, and everything was cozy. Very nice.
Former teammates Mike Fiers, Chris Davis, they were teammates together in Milwaukee for a while. As Fiers was traded from Milwaukee to Houston in 2015. Fouled straight back. You know, the Astros have not made very many bad decisions in the last 5 years, but that was not a good trade for them.
No.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Carlos Gomez and Mike Fiers. Fiers actually did a pretty good job there. Carlos Gomez did not. They traded Domingo Santana, who hit 30 home runs last year for the Brewers, although struggling this year. Brett Phillips, who's an outfielder. But the name they traded was Josh Hader.
Yeah.
That's the left-hander for the Brewers, who's struck out 80 in 39 innings, and he's going to be an all-star.
Yeah.
Josh Hader. So the Astros let that one get away.
You know, as we saw the Astros, they have Peacock and McHugh in the bullpen, a couple of starters. So I guess that maybe they felt they had enough starters. But you're right about Fiers. You make a trade like that, you're hoping. But in hindsight, it turned out to be a good one for the Brewers.
And that one hooked into left field, and that's a base hit. Davis out in front, strong enough to still hit it hard through the left side.
Well, since we last saw you last night, the Tigers have made some news as their pitching coach Chris Bosio was relieved of his duties, and Rick Anderson, who was in the bullpen, been longtime pitching coach for Ron Gardenhire at Minnesota, has taken over as the interim pitching coach for the remainder of the season. There's Rick Anderson, who was talking to him on Thursday. He was excited about being in the bullpen. Now he's back in the role on the bench. But it's unfortunate about Chris Bosio, but Rick Anderson, the veteran pitching coach, many years with Ron Gardenhire, the Minnesota Twins, so he takes over in that capacity for the Tigers. And whatever happened to Chris Bosio, we wish him the best.
Well, it was the official release from the Tigers said, quote, insensitive comments made toward team employee. That's all that was said. We don't know anything else.
Wow.
Left field, Jacoby Jones leaps, and he caught it.
Wow.
Jacoby Jones timed his jump perfectly. And as we always say, Ray, he did it right. He got to the wall and jumped straight up.
Exactly, yeah.
Took a home run, I believe, away from Olsen. That looked like it was gone.
It definitely was over, and I'll be honest with you, I did not think it was going to travel as far as it did. That's Matt Olsen providing his own power, but there, right there, you go as far as you can go, look, jump, and it was definitely over. His elbow hit the white or the yellow line and brought the ball back in. So that is a two-run home run saver. And Matt Olsen, I guess, probably thought he hit it well enough to get out, but it did not. Good play by the left fielder.
And that one's hit well to right field. Castellanos back. Now he comes in a couple steps, and that's the second out.
Now, Randall Gritchett did it for the Toronto Blue Jays against Springer. Very similar to this in right field, this in left field, and you can see up against the wall. And really, that is how you play it. And Fiers couldn't believe it. Maybe couldn't believe it traveled as far as it did, but nice catch anyway, Kit.
So terrific play. And 2 outs for Chad Pinder. Remember the play Gabe Gross made here?
Yes. Yeah.
That was one of the great plays we saw in many years.
Is that because the sun went in his eyes and couldn't see it?
No, but he caught it.
He caught it, which I think he said it was one of those sunny days where here, when sun is out, left field takes a long time for the sun to get below the stadium until you don't see it. But it was a tremendous catch nonetheless.
1-1 the count to Chad Pinder, getting a start at second base tonight. Pinder's been all over the field as expected. This is his 6th start at second base. He's been in left field the most. 26 starts out in left.
Well, last night the A's were down 6-3, the 3 unearned runs, but Chad Pinder did a great job, actually 7-3. This made it a 7-5. Jed Lyer would go opposite field, but Chad Pinder, that was the 27th consecutive games with at least one home run.
That one hit hard. Diving play. Candelario gets up, throws in time. So the Tigers splashing some leather in the top of the second inning.
Mark Stair. Be sure to get your tickets for this special day honoring Stu at athletics.com/tickets. Athletics.com/tickets. That's the place to go, and be there on Saturday because that's the place to be, especially for Stu.
Nico Goodrum to lead it off. Hicks to follow, and then Griner. Goodrum is 1 for 8 in the series. Tigers come in with a record of 36-44, and they are sitting on a 7-game losing streak. They still have a decent home record. I mean, they're 23-19 at home. The road has been a problem, 13-25. In the month of June, they're 10-14.
And you know, Kemp, if you're a manager, you've won over 1,100 games in Major League Baseball, you don't like losing.
No.
And Ron Gardenhire is in that position, first-year manager with the Tigers. But a good man, nonetheless, to be able to take a young club because he did it in Minnesota.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Bassett. Well, that's an interesting thought. You think of who do you want to manage a rebuilding situation?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times an organization will go maybe with a younger guy, and
right.
Understandable.
Sure.
But what about going with a guy who's
right.
managed a lot, who, like you said, hates to lose?
And plus, he's been in that position of
been in both.
Exactly. But I take somebody's had success.
I agree.
Because he knows what it's all about. And, you know, he knows the situation here, but he also knows that when they have a chance to win, they should win.
And you have to have a veteran manager who's willing to go into that situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think a manager's attitude about things rubs off on players, especially young players.
Absolutely. And again, as I mentioned last night, as this ball hit hard up the middle by Hicks, that last night when he got win number 1,100, it was when his players really celebrated, and that's pretty impressive for them And even going back to spring training, how he was brought in and how everybody really enjoyed having the veteran Ron Gardner. I mean, you have to know him. And Kai, remember in Minnesota, the Twins won in '87, completely disbanded everything, won again in '91. So, I mean, that was under Tom Kelly, but Ron Gardenhire has been in that capacity.
Grayson Greiner is the backup catcher. Greiner, 244 is his average. Straightaway defense against Greiner. Do you agree with the theory that kind of how a manager reacts to things, a lot of times that's how a team will react to things? If a manager shows a little panic, players will do the same. If there's a calmness about the manager through tough times, the players will react that way.
That's a good point. I remember when Bob Melvin first took over and was basically in the same capacity, you know, although was told not going to win in 12 and 13, and he did. But the one thing he always said, I never sit down, because if I sit down, my guys think, hey, he doesn't care, he's sitting down. So he always stands up. And you see him at the Coliseum, you see him standing there. But, you know, it's something that you do, and to your point is exactly, you know, your players follow you. And if you quit or you panic, they're going to say, hey, we'll just be like him.
Strike three called, good breaking ball, and Greiner strikes out with him.
I think we have a fan club of Mr. Chris Bassett down below us, because
like it,
every time he does something like this, they just jump and cheer and yell. Yeah, Toledo, Ohio. That's right. He's a Ohioan, so he's got a lot of people here. There they are.
Yeah, they're right below us, and they're having a good time.
And he said he's looking forward to Cleveland because he went to school in Cleveland, grew up in. So, I mean, Cleveland, Ohio, we used to bus it for these games at Tiger Stadium.
Day of. Day of
That's
bus.
right. That's right. Come straight to the yard. Day of bus. Your brother's told you a lot, huh?
Not a terrible idea if you really think about it.
Exactly.
Bassett's pitch usage in his fourth start now. Fastball, slider, curve change. Fair amount of sliders and curves.
Well, he just froze Greiner with a good curveball. He's got a good one.
Big bouncer. Barreto has it. Iglesias is retired, and so are the Tigers. Third inning coming up. Barreto to lead it off. Go score. Ace fans in the house.
Oh, ice cream. Oh. We were supposed to get ice cream last night. Young man,
From who?
Young man up there forgot it. He's supposed to bring it, and not you, Jeff. You don't need it. But we had some Thursday, and it was supposed to be the nice.
Did you?
Well.
Oh, that's my partner's a sweetheart, isn't he? Jeff, you don't need any ice cream. Jeff's our stage manager here, and he's just been told that he does not get any ice cream. He doesn't need any ice cream.
He looked at me and goes, "What about me?" And I went,
Time to go home, Ray.
no, just be like Jeff.
I like it. On the infield, Goodrum comes in on the grass, and Barreto is retired. One away.
Well, the A's offense should think that it's maybe somebody else pitching besides Chris Bassett. They need to find a way to score some runs for Chris Bassett.
Yeah, they have not done a lot for Bassett in his first 3 starts.
Well, looking back, August the 4th of 2015 was the last time Chris Bassett won a game. That was against the Orioles. Had to shut out the Orioles to win. 5-0. So Chris
Fegley.
Tommy John surgery after that in 16, as we talked about. Didn't pitch last year.
Fegley, 5 hits in 21 at-bats, making his 5th start this year behind the plate.
Yeah, the one thing Josh Fegley said, I see my name in the lineup, I'm ready to go. And he is catching Bassett for his 4th time this year. 4th start for Bassett, 4th start with Fegley behind the plate. Teammates in Chicago, so see if they can pull some magic tonight, pick up a win for Bassett and the Athletics.
Right center. Leonis Martin backs up, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. And now Fowler will hit for the 2nd time.
We talked about how difficult pinch hitting is, and what a big hit last night for Dustin Fowler to come through the 9th inning with the insurance run with a pinch hit base hit. But it's difficult for veterans, and I know Matt Joyce, who doubled to left field, 2nd AB last night, talked about how pinch hitting in Pittsburgh really helped him become a better hitter. But Matt Joyce has been around a few years. This is the first full year for Dustin Fowler. So Matt Joyce, maybe he could offer some tips, especially pinch hitting. Because Fowler definitely did a good job last night.
And a quick 0-2. That fastball, 91 miles an hour, but again, just at the top of the strike zone, which is always a tough pitch to hit. Fowler fouled out to 3rd in the 1st inning. Strike 3 called right on the outside corner. So Fiers has retired 6 in a row. Bottom of the 3rd coming up.
to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Comerica Park, home of the Tigers. Some of those big Tigers stationed outside the ballpark at some of the main entrances. And this ballpark, which that's the big fella. He just keeps an eye on everything. Two of them up there. They got their eye on you at all times. Nice ballpark, opened in 2000, so it's 19th year, Comerica Park.
Ford Field right next door with the Lions play, and we got a new arena for the hockey team.
Little Caesars.
Oh yeah,
right down the street.
Say the late Mr. Illich, we talked last year on the unfortunate death of the longtime owner of the Tigers and what he did and has done for downtown. There's Ford Field, and right next to Comerica Park. New home of the Tigers here. That's the football team, and the Red Wings.
That's the Lions. They have never been to the Super Bowl.
Damn it!
Just saying. I'm not. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. Little Caesars Arena is the home of the Pistons as well. So,
hey Jeff, if anybody knows football, my partner knows football.
Just
so
saying.
Yes, just say.
Try and get to the Super Bowl. 3-1 to Jacoby Jones. And he just missed on a very close pitch. So Jones with a leadoff walk. Check this out. This is the new arena, and it is awesome. Again, just down the street, a couple blocks.
It's beautiful.
So it's amazing, Ray, if you really think about it. Got to give City of Detroit, State of Michigan a lot of credit. They have a brand spanking new arena for basketball and hockey. They have this beautiful ballpark, and Ford Field is very nice right next door, and it's all within 4 or 5 blocks of each other.
That's right. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
That is nice. Again, Mr. Illich was doing a lot to revitalize downtown Detroit.
And it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah. By the way, Greg just chimed in and said Lions' last title was 57.
Like I said.
Like you said, you're right.
Tiger Stadium, no more. Demolished back in 2009.
Yeah. Late Ernie Harwell tried to keep it alive, but just didn't work out. A lot of history. There's the late Ernie Harwell.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is a great organization from a history standpoint. Want to know the count to Leonis Martin. Martin hits it hard but fouls. So now the count even at 1-1. Martin hit a fly ball to left in the first. There was a big article in the local paper today about who should the Tigers trade.
It's always that time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers obviously in a rebuilding mode. They do have some players that could be attractive to teams in contention, and Martin was one of them. That one's hit well to left center, but it's hanging up. Fowler makes the catch. Jones tags. Jones is going to try to get to second, and he does without sliding. If he had to do it again, he would probably slide, but he has very good speed. So it's a productive out for Martin.
Well, Fowler saying I got it, set up and threw it, throws a little bit offline, and you're right. Anytime there's a doubt, go ahead and slide because it will stop you. And he tagged up knowing the ball was not hit hard enough, far enough to get out of the park for a long ball, or for extra bases. Just saw the great Hawk Harrelson over the weekend in Chicago, and talking about sliding or not sliding, he decided to half slide and kind of ended his career into second base in spring training. So when in doubt, slide. It's always better to do it that way.
Here's Jamer Candelario. He flied to center in the first. Swing and a miss. 93 miles an hour.
How about John Candelaria?
John Candelaria.
Pittsburgh Pirates big left-handed pitcher.
He was nasty. Whew. He was there in the heyday, right?
Yes,
79.
That's right. We are family.
He was there.
Yeah. Willie Stargell pops.
That's right. He was the candy man.
Yep.
We're not talking about Sammy Davis Jr. either.
No. That's a good one. The Candyman can, not Curtis Granderson, who is now with the Blue Jays. They had a tough one today. They scored 5 in the first inning, still lost to the Astros.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Yeah,
huh? Astros with a walk-off at home. I was watching a little bit of that game, and at no point did I think the Astros were not going to win.
You know,
right?
and they thought they didn't know any other thing either. They knew they were going to win. I mean, they came back and scored 3 in the bottom half.
Alex Bregman, a 2-run walk-off home run today, and the Astros stunned the Toronto Blue Jays.
That's kind of a payback when Gritchett robbed Springer in the first game.
That's true.
I mean, that was a little bit of a payback. But they're good. They're good. They're confident, and they're 1 through 9 as tough as anybody. How about Evan Gattis? Did you hear that? That he had something like, he was on pace for 32 runs batted in with only 8 something in the month of April. Now he's got 50 some odd. He's on pace for over 100. I mean, of course, ace off first hand. That's right. That's right. Ace off first hand.
1 and 2 to Candelario. A little bit low. Gattis had 3 more RBIs today.
And he's going to be a free agent. See, I think somebody like that's great for a club because he can DH but also be a third catcher.
Facet, long look, and he delivers. And Candelaria is just able to check his swing.
You know, they say that if a pitcher's going to throw a curveball, he'll take longer and look longer at a base runner. Fastball's a little bit different, but he took a long time. Nice block again by Josh Phegley. He does a very good job. And the runner at second base looked like he's going to take off, and he did not, fortunately for him, because Phegley would have had him by plenty.
And that one's hit to right. Piscotty at the wall, leaps, and he caught it. Gets it back in quickly. Jones back to second, and that's out number 2.
Man, he is playing some outstanding defense. His offense is off the chart. Hey, the ball got in on Candelaria, maybe just enough, but it looked like it had a chance to get out. But Piscotty back to the wall, jump. Stopped him was the wall, but a great catch by Piscotty against the wall. And to the point that at second base, Jones thought the ball was at least going to come off the wall. He made the right play by going halfway. Bassett extremely happy that it was caught. So a couple of very good outfielding plays, one by the Tigers and that one by Piscotty.
So 2 outs, and now you got to get Castellanos. You do have first base open if you wanted to pitch carefully. And quite frankly, Ray, that may not be a bad idea.
I agree. And it's nothing against Victor Martinez, but this man is hot, and that is Nicholas Castellanos.
And he's 5 for 9 in this series. He's got a double tonight.
And that was a 2-strike double that he pulled his hands in, hit it down the left field line. But you know, a situation like this, if the pitcher's good enough to pitch him carefully, you'll say, make him hit your pitch. And if he does, then you can hopefully get an out. If you walk him, you don't have to worry about it. And I think the main thing is there, an intentional walk with a good hit in the on-deck circle. It just pumps him up a little bit more, saying, you don't think I can hit you? Well, I can. So pitching carefully to Castellanos. Pretty good numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Well, listen, I mean, you circle the guy you don't want to beat you in the Tigers lineup, and you're going to circle this guy. Castellanos had his 26th double in the first inning.
This is against Lou Trevino. This is a big one in the 7th inning. And it's amazing that a 3-run home run. And the Tigers looked like they had, with the 4-1 lead, were going to lead it. But thankfully, the A's able to score late, 3 in the 8th. won the ninth and walked away with the victory. First game of the series. See, this is where a hitter also, Cap, to your point about you pitch him carefully, maybe even walk him, not worry about it. But the hitter also, you'd like to see a good hitter, a hot hitter, expand his strike zone. Take a pitch that may be questionable whether it's a strike or a ball and swing at it. And if he throws a pitch out of the strike zone here, you may see Bob Melvin say, just put him on.
Pumps a fastball in there, outside corner strike. So the count is 2-2.
Castellanos has to be thinking also, are they going to pitch to me? Great two-seamer. See where Fegley way out of the strike zone, but the ball came back, hit the corner.
That's probably one Castellanos wished he would have swung at. Fastball out over the plate.
And up. The danger right there, he went from about 5 signs, Fegley, to 2 signs.
Simplify.
Yeah.
Missed outside. So now it's a full count. Be interesting to see what Bassett throws Castellanos with the full count. A hot hitter.
Well, he could take the two-seamer that he threw to get strike 2 and take a chance, and if it stays off the plate, tip your hat, let him take the walk. But just don't throw the slow breaking ball. That's what he hit first at bat, and he adjusted. If you throw the curveball, throw it hard.
And that one's hit down the right field line, but it's going to be foul. He's got that strong inside out swing.
Yep, yes he does, and that's too close. Put him on. And there's certain hitters that feel so good at the plate. And I liked exactly what you said. You look at a lineup, you circle, and you say, this guy's not going to beat me. And really, he's in that category now.
And there's some lineups where there's just too many guys. You can't circle one or two. This lineup, I think he is the guy.
Yeah. And really, until Victor Martinez kind of reverts to his old ways of driving in big runs, you have to worry about this guy.
Misses outside. So a couple of walks by Bassett here in the third. 2 on, 2 out, and here is Martinez.
But you know, the tagging by Jones and getting to scoring position, it might have worked against the Tigers and Castellanos. Castellanos, maybe you pitch him differently with the runner at first, and as hot as he is, maybe he takes advantage of that. But good base running by Jones to get into scoring position, and Victor always dangerous. Victor got him last night. Bassett got him this afternoon or tonight.
Martinez hit a fly ball to left field to end the first. He did that with a runner at second base and 2 outs. And that pitch just misses. The Tigers as a team, 232 their average with runners in scoring position. For Martinez, and this is the problem, right? 160.
Yeah.
And that is just not the Victor Martinez that we used to know. Tigers offense, 63 home runs, the fewest in the league. They're 10th in the league in runs scored. Couple of positive notes. They're 2nd in the league in doubles and 1st in the league in triples.
A lot of body, bat stayed back, and that's the difficult times at times. In this case, Ted Barrett, the third base umpire. And, you know, sometimes those singles and doubles can hurt you.
Absolutely.
And right now is one of those cases.
A little bit inside, so now it's 3-0. On deck is Nico Goodrum, a switch hitter. See if Victor Martinez has the green light.
That's a great call, because it would not be surprising, and that's why you have to think about it as a pitcher catcher also.
And it's a strike on the inside corner.
You know, good hitters are looking middle of the plate away. This pitch called a strike on the inside part of the plate, and two-seamer. And here the fans, even Victor, looking back at Lance Barksdale. Was not an automatic 3-0 pitch.
That one is inside, and it's a walk.
Now the A's are proud to debut affordable ways for families and students to enjoy A's baseball. Get 2 free tickets with every purchase of 1 adult ticket for Monday through Thursday home games from now through August. Also, summer home run readers program and summer slugger program are ways for kids to win tickets. For more information, visit athletics.com/family. There's a family of A's fans. Jack doesn't like that cap to the young boy over there. That bad
Can't wear it.
Oh,
Can't wear it.
no, that's not the flat bill. That's little brother to the right of him. But Scott Emerson out to pay a visit to his pitcher, because in this inning, 3 walks, a line drive that was a nice catch by Piscotty, and a fly ball deep to center field. But the 3 walks are the key right now. Tigers are looking for a big hit. The A's are looking for a big out.
So here is Goodrum, who struck out in the second. And a fastball that's low.
Well, you said it last night, how pitchers with the bases loaded, the ball start squeezing a little bit tighter. Well, right now Chris Bassett experiencing that with a lot of pitches in this inning.
1-0 pitch is just off the plate. No, strike. So Bassett gets the call.
Well, it might have been a strike anyway, but the fact that Fegley was on the inside part of the plate and had to reach out, that made it look like a pitch out of the strike zone.
Pitch number 56 coming up. Here it is, and that one a little bit high. So Bassett, 3 walks here in the third, trying to get out of the jam. .29 pitches this inning alone. And that's a strike. Bassett may need to say thank you on that one.
Yeah. And again, look where Fegley set up, and now Lance Barksdale hearing it from the Tigers dugout. See, what they're saying is how much Fegley's had to reach twice.
So Barksdale's responding. Well,
Yeah.
He set up inside, and he is
That's
accurate.
right, exactly.
But the pitch looked like it was off the plate. Bassett needed it, and he got the call. Two pitches fouled straight back.
See, Goodrum asked for time, but he didn't say thank you.
Right, got to say thank you.
Yeah, I mean that could make a big difference in this at bat. You know, guy's a gentleman. Maybe he's never know. This is a huge pitch. 2-2, bases loaded, a huge pitch.
And here it is, and it's line foul as that one hung up a little bit. But
Yes, it
Goodrum
did.
out in front. Jones is at third. Castellanos is at second. Martinez is at first.
If it's a second sign, it's a fastball in.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Foul tip. So a little fist pump from Bassett, and the Tigers leave him loaded. Showed you on the replay. He may have had a little bit of a reason to argue. And Lance Barksdale threw him out. And as the microphones here work very well at Comerica Park, and we heard the whole argument. It was great.
Gardy's been ejected a few times, so he knows how to argue.
Absolutely. So Lance Barksdale puffed his chest out a little bit and threw out Ron Gardenhire.
He said, I'm the boss. And guess what? You're gone.
So 1-1 the count to Matt Joyce. No score, top of the 4th inning. He's trying to figure out Mike Fiers. He's given up 1 hit so far. He has struck out 1. Facing Joyce, Lowry, and Davis here in the 4th inning. And there's a shot center field, a base hit. So Matt Joyce with a leadoff single.
Pitch outside. There's a backdoor cutter, and he just went with it and took it back up the middle. Good hitting by Matt Joyce, especially with the elevation of the pitch. He's a good hitter, quality hitter, and Matt Joyce is one who grinds them out, as he says. And of course, you like to think everybody's going to do it, but we have seen Matt Joyce, this is the 2nd year of the 2-year deal, that he has been a constant, just like the guy at the plate right now.
That's right. Matt Joyce will be a free agent. Jed Lowry will be a free agent. Who else? Santiago Casilla will be a free agent. Want to know the count to Lowry. And that one misses outside. So these are the pitches Ron Gardenhire was mad about. First, this is a 2. Now remember, 2-0 count, bases loaded. And that was the pitch that sort of set him off. So there was 2 close pitches, and they were both called strikes, and probably changed the at bat a little bit.
You know, the one thing I think we've appreciated umpires, and we've seen it on both sides, and again, it's not just this case it favored the A's, but you know, where a catcher sets up, an umpire is taught to call it a strike, no matter how much he has to reach. Now, did he reach too far? Was it out of the strike zone? But if you're a manager in a dugout, you see a catcher move that much, you can't tell whether it's in the strike zone or not. And I'm sure that's what Ron Gardenhire was talking about with Lance Barksdale. But I'd like to see umpires set up more behind the catcher instead of at an angle to where they can see both sides of the plate equally. And, you know, they're always taught, as the great Eddie Montague tells us, the slide. So Lance Barksdale with the left-handed hitter will be on the right shoulder of the catcher, looking at an angle to the outside part of the plate. But bottom line, if the pitch is over in the strike zone, it should be called a strike regardless of what the catcher has to do. It's a question of whether they were strikes or not.
Thank you.
In Lance Barksdale's mind, they were. Yep. And more than likely, when he's graded for after this game, he's going to say, you're right on. I mean, they can go about a full ball off the plate and still get credited for it to be a strike. Or
I think we'd all like to have that grading system.
Yeah.
Gee,
I'm trying to think, was it Will Little last year in New York on that Saturday afternoon who had the probably, well, it was a strike zone that, according to the box that we had, he didn't hit anything close. And he was graded 98%.
What a day.
Exactly. And
here's a pitch that looked like it could have been probably right at the top of the strike zone. Lowry not in full agreement. 3-2. Joyce inches off. And Joyce runs, and the ball's fouled straight back. Good swing by Lowry.
that 76th of his career? Rod Gardner's been ejected 76 times.
Seems like a lot.
Jed Lowry tried to take that fastball from Fires to shoot it to shortstop left field, considering Iglesias was the one covering. See, there's a danger of middle infielders. Of course, they're playing Jed to pull with second baseman Goodrum way over, so he can't cover second.
Joyce runs again. The ball's lined down the right field line. Fair ball. Joyce was running on the play. He hits the bag at third. Matt Williams is waving him home, and Joyce will score, and the A's lead 1-0. Another big hit for Jed Lowry.
Another pitch that he is able to pull down the right field line after, you know, the fastball that he fouled back. That Fires might have said, I don't want to give him that one again. So what does he do? The second 3-2. Tries to go inside at 91. And Jed able to pull it. And maybe thinking that he's not going to be as aggressive with a 3-2 count. Instead, left the ball up. Jed opened up. And Jed Lowry again. Thursday afternoon, solo home run in the ninth against Green. Last night, base hit to right field against Green. Tonight, drives in the first run with a fastball double down the right field line.
So Matt Joyce running on the play, and that helped the A's get the run. And for Jed Lowry, that is his 22nd double. That's his 54th RBI. So among the big boys is Jed Lowry in RBIs. J.D. Martinez leads with 62, then Haniger with 59, Machado with 55, Lowry with 54. Chris Davis right there as well. Pretty good 3-4 hitters, doing a lot of damage for the Athletics. Bounce toward third. Candelaria backs up, long throw, and they just get Chris Davis. So one out here in the fourth inning, a run in. And here comes Matt Olson. Matt Olson had a 2-run homer taken away from him. His first at bat, that was in the second inning. Jacoby Jones went back to the wall in left field and jumped over and caught it. I should say reached over. He did not jump over. He reached over. So 1-0 the count to Matt Olson. 17 home runs and 41 runs batted in on the season for Olson.
Just thinking about the home run that Matt Olson hit in Boston over the Green Monster against Craig Kimbrell. And that ball probably, considering how deep it is, 345 down the line, would have been off the wall at Fenway and maybe a single. Instead, he's robbed him of a home run. Different parks, different ways to try to play defensively.
And how about Matt Olson, Ray? This is game number 81 for the A's. So in the first 80 games, break them right in half, 40 and 40. The first 40 games, Olson had 4 homers and 14 RBIs. The next 40 games, he had 13 home runs and 27 RBIs. So a little bit of a slow start for Matt Olson. This one's popped up. Griner staggering a little bit. He reaches out right at the last minute and makes the catch. So Olson is retired, 2 outs.
Griner actually should have been the first baseman, taken over and taken charge, coming a long way, but he kind of started trotting a little bit. Did Hicks maybe said, I don't want to make another error after last night because that's a long run, as Olson not able to do anything with that pitch. Yeah.
So it's up to Piscotty. Try to get Lowry home. First pitch to Piscotty is off speed in the dirt. Dark clouds moving in again. It's cooling off, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's that Midwestern temperature changing a little bit.
Can change quickly. Piscotty hit a fly ball to right field in the second inning. He is 3 for 9 in this series. Having a good month of June. The A's having a good month of June. They're 13 and 10. Including tonight. 4 more games left. Start winning 15, 16 games in a month. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Piscotty goes down to one knee. He didn't go down to one knee to hit it. He slipped a little bit after finishing his swing.
And there's the slip. Front foot on the heel, back foot. Got hit in the hand last night and a little bit scary, but he said he's all right. Ball came up and in. 60 people he said he had in the stands last night. 60 people. Of course, his dad growing up in Detroit had a lot of family and friends and getting a chance to catch up. He said
there's a group here tonight too.
Yeah, he said I didn't leave all tickets though. I said good, you would get a paycheck next time.
There's the group.
Yeah.
See his dad with the A's hat on, kind of right up on top of that umbrella. There he is.
Well, you can tell it's a fitted cap, so you know, not any of those adjusted. So
no, dad needs a fitted cap.
He's got a fitted. What size you wear, Dad? We'll get you on. See who's going to take care of you.
3-1 to Piscotty. Strike on the outside corner. 3-2. Lowry with his lead at second. Payoff pitch coming up to Piscotty. Here it is. Foul back. Right side. Headed for the upper deck.
Well, the A's have been getting some huge hits with 2 outs, and Stephen Piscotty, one of the best at doing that, trying to do it again in this situation, especially after the double by Jed Lowry. And well, that's why you'd like to have a runner on the move, because Cap, you look at this inning. If he doesn't score from first, Matt Williams doesn't send him, the A's really haven't scored, because the next 2 batters ground out to third and to pop up to the catcher.
Iglesias scoops up a tough hop, flips it across, and Piscotty's retired. A's get a run. Lowry with an RBI double. Bottom of the 4th coming up. A's 1, Tigers nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning. Chris Bassett got out of a bases loaded jam in the 4th. And now he'll face Hicks, Griner, and Iglesias. They got out of a jam in the third. He'll face Hicks, Griner, Iglesias here in the fourth.
He threw enough pitches for both innings.
It's true.
So let's hope he can minimize. Already at 60 through 3, and that's not good. That's too high of a number.
Swing and a miss by Hicks, who had a base hit in the second inning. Mariners and the Orioles are playing game 3 of their 4-game series in Baltimore, and the Orioles with a 4-2 lead top of the 5th over Seattle. Mariners have won the first 2 games of that series. A's trailing the Mariners by 7 games in the division. Red Sox pounding the Angels again, Ray. 6-0 in the 4th inning at Fenway.
They've outscored them how many? I mean,
it's like
ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah.
They being the Red Sox have just dominated the Angels this year. And already a 6-run second inning. So the Angels, who have lost 4 in a row. So they are struggling right now, the Angels, and they're on a long 10-game road trip. Right to Lowry, who's got it. Lowry across, and Hicks is gone.
Well, Chris Bassett, we talked about Bassett pitching in Chicago. This is what happened as Moncada, and tell you what, a shot. Fortunately, if you could say fortunate, it hurt, but it's off the left hand, his left wrist actually, and it hurt, but you can only imagine on the right hand. His throwing hand, it was not, and fortunately for him, and he went to AAA, and he comes back due to the disabled list again of a starting pitcher. This time Daniel Mingden, so Chris Bassett getting a chance again.
So I looked it up because I wanted to make sure I got all the names down, and I probably still missed one, Ray, but Bob Melvin has been talking about the amount of starting pitchers he has lost this year to the disabled list. And it really is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And considering where the A's are, as we talked in our opener to the guys in the studio about that, considering,
A's 4 games over 500. That pitch is low. So this is the disabled list, and Chapman's on there, Triggs, Powell. You see, but concentrate on the starters. You see Triggs, Anderson, Gossett, Cahill, Cotton, Migden. Okay. But let's not forget about Kendall Graveman, who is technically on the minor league disabled list, right?
Right.
And you have to throw A.J. Puck in there because he was a candidate in spring training, Tommy John surgery.
Sure.
So think about that list.
Yeah.
I got 8
on the DL.
And that doesn't include Paul Blackburn because he is not on the disabled list. But Blackburn missed the first 2 months.
Yeah.
That is an inordinate amount of injuries. All starting pitchers.
Yeah.
And the A's have still managed to play very good baseball in the first half, and they're 42-38.
And I think really a surprise to a lot of people, maybe including their own people, the A's, but to have that many on the DL.
Pinder's got it. Pinder throws across his body, and Griner is out. And I think the bullpen has done a very good job, and that has helped the starting rotation injury situation some.
Exactly.
I don't think you want to rely on the bullpen the entire season. I think they're going to be very good, but you're asking a lot. Well,
exactly, and that's why they always talk about you don't want to ruin a guy going from April to May and not have him available August, September.
That's the point.
You know, and in the case of what the A's have done, because of the short games at times. I mean, just look at the last 4 games for the A's.
Sure.
You know, you've got a 2-inning and a 3-inning out of your starter, and that's a lot of innings out of the bullpen. How about in Toronto? First 2 games, Anderson, Triggs go out.
That's right.
You got to go 14 innings the first 2 games out of the bullpen. So it's a challenge, but man, you have to manage a staff as a manager and pitching coach. And this being the 81st game, you're hoping guys come back. But when they do come back, how many innings are they going to be able to pitch anyway?
Yeah. That one line foul. So the count 0-2 to Jose Iglesias.
And you think what A.J. Hinch did last year in the World Series in the month of October, ended up using starters out of the bullpen. Maybe you have to. Maybe the bullpen sometimes is overworked, and you get in a short series and postseason, something that every team plays for. Maybe you have to make those adjustments, and you've got to disappoint some people. But bottom line, you're trying to win. In the case of the Astros, they were world champions.
But you think about the World Series, and really a lot of the postseason, the Astros, their bullpen was not great.
Exactly.
But the starters that were put in the bullpen saved them.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a very good inning for Chris Bassett. 3 up, 3 down. And the A's lead it 1-0 after 4. Of the 4-game series here in Detroit. Day game tomorrow. And then the A's will head back home for a big weekend series against the Cleveland Indians. Indians in St. Louis. So they got an interleague series going on.
And that's a packed house.
Absolutely.
Busch Stadium. Oh, I mean, they pack them in. Sea of red in downtown St. Louis, Busch Stadium. Busch 3.
Line drive, left field, and a base hit for Pinder.
Smart play of the day brought to you by California Ford Dealers. How about some defense on both sides tonight? You got left field, Jacoby Jones. This looked like a 2-run home run. Jones back to the wall, jumped up briefly. I mean, that's a small jump, but it brought back a 2-run home run. And Stephen Piscotty, this ball was crushed, but he jumped against the wall and brought it down. And A's and the Tigers both with outstanding defensive plays, won by the left field of the Tigers and Stephen Piscotty in right field. Ford smart play of the day. Boy, those are good defensive plays for both pitchers.
So here's Barreto. Candelario, the third baseman, comes in, and the first pitch is low. But speaking of the Indians, Ray, they are wrapping up that series, so they will be in the Bay Area. They'll have an off day in the Bay Area tomorrow. So the A's will play tomorrow. The Indians will sit back and enjoy a day off in Northern California. And that hits Barreto.
Take it.
He's okay. And the A's have 2 on and nobody out here in the 5th. What will we do with Fegley here, Ray?
I have an idea what we're going to do. We'll see. But that pitch on the left side, you can hear the thud. That's the elbow protection a lot of guys are wearing.
And I say, what will we do with Fegley? Meaning, would Bob Melvin sacrifice bunt here?
I'd say yes. And the reason I say that, although the club does not bunt a lot, but Fegley hasn't played a lot. And I think that makes a big difference in this situation. He has power. He could hit a home run. He could drive a ball to the gap. That's why we don't manage.
Swinging away. Well, the A's have 2
Yeah.
sacrifice bunts this year. 2.
Should have had 3, but Paul Blackburn was doubled up.
That's right.
You know, in San Diego.
Doesn't count.
No, but it's really something that you don't see a lot of clubs doing, a lot of bunting. And first and third are playing in, anticipating a bunt.
Driven to right center. It's hit pretty well. Martin's going to get there. So both the runners will tag. So it acts as a sacrifice, but it's a good at bat for Fegley.
That's outstanding. And you're right. And, you know, give Bob Melvin credit for allowing Josh Fegley, and Fegley also credit his ability to put the ball in play, in this case deep enough that, you know, you knew that the runner Pinder was going to go to third, but very good hustle, heads up play by Moretto to get to second base, knowing that the ball was going to stay in. And now the infield back. We'll see if Fowler can put the ball in play.
First pitch to Fowler stays high. The Toronto Blue Jays have 1 sacrifice bunt. That's the fewest. The team with the most sacrifice bunts in the American League, Seattle, 20.
Yep. So remember, Ron Washington went to Texas and to manage, and he bunted a lot.
Fowler swings and misses. Got to put it in play here.
Yeah. Well, and to the point, as Fowler gets an off-speed pitch from Fires, but the one thing about a sacrifice, you are giving up an out. At least he swung away, even though Fegley did make an out, but he did advance both runners and took a chance that could have had the ball go in the gap to score 2.
A little bit low. 2-1. Fowler is 0 for 2. He struck out in the third. That's the only strikeout Fires has tonight.
Well, there's your defense, and everybody with the exception of the pitcher, third and maybe first. If Fowler puts the ball in play, A's should have a run.
And he swings and misses 85 miles an hour.
You know, Cap, we have seen him. We saw a home run his first major league to left field in Toronto. Watch how he opens up. You're going to see the belt buckle. See, that's he's opening up too much. And if he thinks about opposite field, especially in this situation, it doesn't roll over, and maybe can drive a ball into left field.
And that one misses inside. So a full count. On deck is Matt Joyce.
And Fires might not be pitching to him. He might be staying with first base open. Just Matt Joyce, a veteran hitter, has already singled sharply on a 2-strike pitch in his last at bat. And this right here is Fires calling his own game. He's shaking to get what he wants from Griner. Step out.
And he got it.
Yep.
Off-speed pitch, and Fowler chased it.
You know, Kipe, if you're a hitter in that situation and you see a pitcher shaking, taking all that time, and you know that his best pitch is what he just got, you got to look for it.
Yeah.
And you got to think about, you're not going to get a 3-2 fastball, because more likely Griner called it and Fires kept shaking until he got the curveball. And that's the times where a pitcher and catcher, there's Rick Anderson, the interim pitching coach, longtime pitching coach for Ron Gardenhire. But, you know, there are times that a pitcher will tell you what he wants to throw, and it's his best pitch that he has confidence in.
And he's not a hard thrower, so the chance of him striking you out with his fastball, probably slim.
Right. And the pitch that he threw down that Fowler swung at was a changeup. He threw it hard, had good sinking action. But ultimately, he's an off-speed pitcher. Fastball is probably a waste pitch for him.
So the A's need a hit from Joyce. They've had a whole bunch of big 2-out hits on this road trip. A road trip that has seen the A's go 6-2 so far. Joyce with a line out to left, and then he singled and scored in the fourth. Center field hit well. Martin going back, still going back. And now a couple steps from the warning track makes the catch. And Mike Fiers works out of the jam, the A-strand pair. X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. 1-0 A's lead, bottom of the 5th inning. Jacoby Jones takes the strike. He's the 9th place hitter for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Martin and Candelario. Jones walked in the 3rd. He ended up being stranded at 3rd. Jones very fast, a very good outfielder. We saw that earlier. The question is, can he hit at the big league level?
Well, we've seen him in different spots in the batting order. So Ron Gardenhire, and maybe looking at him down in the lower part with his speed, maybe being an extra leadoff hitter. Jonathan Lucroy, I know we've talked about his exceptional hitting, especially with 2 strikes, and he said that, you know, when he was with Milwaukee, he was hitting 3, 4, and 5, but now in the lower part of the batting order, and he looks at it as being like a second leadoff hitter. Curveball.
And he got him. Strikeout number 4 for Bassett.
Fans, it's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available right now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. It is a whole new ball game. A lot of young players that your A's are watching, or you're watching your A's play. And great development of young players. Great future for this organization. Keep them together, let them play, and this is a great building board right here.
On 1 to Leonis Martin. Couple of flyouts for Martin, 1 to left and 1 to center. Inside.
Thing that Chris Bassett has to be concerned about, as any pitcher does, when you look on the board and you see you're leading 1-0, and realizing as he looks at the board just to see the count. I think that's always interesting too, as pitchers will glance at the scoreboard on the side panels and see what the count is. But knowing that one mistake you make can be devastating for you. It could be a tie game.
Oh. Willie?
Yeah.
Willie Horton? The left field toward the line. Matt Joyce makes the catch. So 2 outs. Hey, Authentic Fan Fridays are better than ever because they're in the A's Treehouse. This Friday, the first 500 fans that show up get a Dave Stewart no-hitter t-shirt, and all fans can pick up one of our Collector Series cheer cards this week. It is Dave Stewart. For details, log on to NBCSportsCalifornia.com. So Friday night, the Indians in town, a good Indians team. And we're hoping for some good crowds this weekend. The A's are playing very well. Coming home from whatever happens the next 2 games, it's going to be a successful road trip.
Get
and
greedy.
I'm telling you, Ray.
Get greedy.
It means something to the players.
Absolutely.
When they come home from a long road trip and there's a big crowd in the stands.
I agree 100%. I agree, because they have been able to watch and hear about a team that's playing this well on the road, and they should be out to support them when they get home, because as well as they're playing on the road, they should be playing as well, if not better, at home.
Two 2-0 the count to Candelario.
And you know Clay Wood's going to have the field just immaculate. I mean, it's going to be ready for him. So put the people in the seats and cheer your team.
It'll be a night game, obviously Friday, and then a day game on Saturday and a day game on Sunday. The 3-0 pitch, strike on the inside corner.
It's amazing that Dave Stewart, that stare from the nicest guy in the world. But man, on the mound, that stare scared you.
Inside, and Candelaria takes the 2-out walk. Yeah, we just got word that A's pregame live will be done from the Treehouse.
That's good.
So Dave Stewart will be there. Brody will be signing autographs for Stu. Brody Stewart.
That's a beauty.
Here's Castellanos, a double and a walk. First pitch, a little bit up, a little bit out.
And I do not think that Chris Bassett intentionally or came close to walking Candelaria pitching around him to get to this guy.
No.
Not as hot as this hitter has been. He's doubled and he's walked, and I don't know, I can't remember the A's really getting him out in this series so far.
Well, he's 5 for 9. Couple of walks. And let's face it, Victor Martinez has not looked good in this series.
Yeah.
Pitch number 90 coming up for Bassett. High in the air, right center, but it looks like Piscotty's going to have enough room, and he does. So a long out. Bassett retires the Tigers in the 5th.
green beans. Visit habitburger.com for a location near you.
Back here at Comerica Park, Chris Bassett and the A's leading the Tigers 1-0. So both pitchers have been decent. Lowry with an RBI double in the fourth, and that is the only run in the game. It scored Matt Joyce. So Jed Lowry, a hot hitter.
Cap, I want to ask you a question. That picture just showed Chris Bassett talking to Frankie Montas. You think that a couple months ago we'd be seeing that picture on the 81st game of the season in Detroit?
Nope. Both part of the rotation.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. Backhanded nicely by Goodrum. He throws to first. Yeah, that's the kind of year it's been so far.
Yeah. Jeff Collins, the assistant trainer. Edwin Jackson. I mean, yeah. Started the season, or at least spring training with the Nationals, had an opt-out. Saw the A's struggling a little bit with the rotation, injuries, and said, hey, I'll sign. And
so Frankie Montas, Edwin Jackson, part of the A's rotation.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, you got to have pitching depth.
Yeah.
First pitch to Chris Davis. Swing and a miss.
Try to make it 2 in a row, or 2-0. That was a major swing by Chris Davis. And Davis, as we mentioned, the 2-run single in Chicago on this trip. So the A's offense, if you think about what Jed Lowry's done, what Chad Pinder, different guys have done with the long ball, and Chris Davis in a situation where it took an opposite field single to drive in 2 runs, but it's been a while for a long ball from him. Matter of fact, it was San Diego. No, it was Houston Verlander on the 14th.
So sitting
came close in San Diego. Thank you, Delaire. It was the right center. We thought if the ball hit that hard, it was going to go out, but it didn't.
Davis with 52 RBIs. JD Martinez leads the league in home runs with 24. How about Jose Ramirez, who we'll see this weekend?
That's right. Yeah.
He's got 23 home runs for the Indians, and he's a terrific hitter, not a big guy.
But last year he was a doubles machine. I mean, he had doubles all over the place. He had hit singles, go for 2, and make it.
Yeah, he is not in the top 10 in doubles this year.
No, it's more of the long ball. You're right.
Chris Davis waves at that pitch. So 3rd strikeout. More highlights from Edwin Jackson, who was very good on Monday in the first game of the series.
Sinker, slider, fastball, slider. I mean, he's throwing 94, 95 consistently. It's 7 strikes. And let's not forget, here's a guy who, in a no-hitter, walked 8. Yet on Monday did not walk a batter in his first start for the Athletics. No walks, 7 strikeouts, 80 pitches. Flat bill cap.
Did a good job. He'll get another shot.
Well, in Chicago, talking to a lot of people. Here in Detroit, out before the game, talking to people in the ground crew, workers here. So he's got 13 different stadiums, and when he goes to, he's got a lot of friends.
And he's going to pitch Saturday.
Yeah. That would be Saturday, his 5th day.
It'll be Blackburn, Jackson, and Montas for the A's in the 3-game series against the Tribe.
1 on the DL, started the season. 1 in the minor leagues, and 1 with another team.
With another team.
Yeah. Sean Manaea, who will get to start tomorrow, but he's been a mainstay. He's been one of the guys that's been in the rotation every 4th, 5th day, whatever it might be, or 5th or 6th day.
Yeah, he's really been the only mainstay.
Yeah. And he's learning a lot. And he goes tomorrow, and Jonathan Lucroy is going to be working with him again. So this works out nicely with the night game before the day game tomorrow. Fagley catching Bassett.
Bouncer foul, and now the count is 3-2 to Matt Olson, who is 0 for 2. Robbed of a homer in the second, fouled out in the fourth. Pitch number 88 coming up for Mike Fiers. He's gone over 100 3 times in his first 14 starts, and Olson shoots one to left field for a base hit.
It's a thing of beauty.
All right, here's our Wells Fargo look ahead, talking a little bit about that big series at the Coliseum this weekend against the Indians. What are the Indians doing this year? Well, pretty good, 43-35. They got a big lead in that AL Central. Runs, home runs, ERA. They're 4th in the American League in runs scored. They're 3rd in home runs hit. They have a very good rotation. The one area which has not been good, which is a bit of a shock, the bullpen has struggled. Straight up. And it's caught and dropped by the catcher Griner.
Oh, whoa.
And Piscotty is going to get to first base.
Well, unfortunately, nobody was at first. That ball came back, and that is not surprising.
So Griner was struggling and he didn't get much help.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? They called it a foul ball. Because Molson's going back to first, but Scotty's hitting. He's standing. But it came back, but it did land, or at least was touched in foul territory, and that's why it was called foul. But it does come back, and you have to realize that. And
just foul.
Just foul.
It is an error.
Yeah.
So got to give the Tigers an error. Very close. I thought it was a fair ball, but you're right. It landed just foul. Watch it.
Yeah, when I saw Olson heading back to first base, that was an indication. It hit the line.
Chalk there, yeah.
But he made contact. I bet right there is what they're looking at. It made contact to foul territory,
right.
even though the ball landed there.
So it just got a piece of his glove.
Because that's when they look down the line and they see where contact is made.
In the dirt. Piscotty's 0 for 2, fly ball to right, and a ground out to short.
Stevens said his dad moved from Detroit at the age 12. So he was back here the first 12 years of his life. Still a lot of family, friends who are here. Obviously, if you have 60 in the house last night, and big number again tonight.
Checks away. Well, I don't know how old his father is. Could have been here for the '84 team, which went wire to wire, I guess. We don't know that for sure. That was a pretty good Tigers team.
35-5 to start the season. I'd say it's pretty good.
Yep. Beat the Padres in the '84 World Series. Center field and hit well. Martin going back. Martin near the wall, and he caught it. What a play by Leonis Martin.
420 feet away.
So takes a
wow
run away from the A's. Worth another look. That's a heck of a play. from outside the ballpark. It's kind of a unique setup here at Comerica Park, where the field is really dug down quite a ways, and
many years ago,
walking on the street, you can look in through the fence and look down at the game.
It's like the old Naho game.
Yeah.
But I several years ago, I remember how many of the A's had an off day here, and the Tigers were playing, and it stayed downtown, walked over, and actually on the other side of the gate, those fans are in play, actually inside, but you can stand on the outside, and yeah, he's watching the game from out there.
He's fine.
He's fine.
But you get a pretty good view of the game from outside the gates. Two 2-0 to Victor Martinez as Bassett back out there for the bottom of the 6th. Action though out in the A's bullpen. Petit is getting loose.
You see the pitch count for Bassett, and it's rising quickly. I say 33 pitch, 3rd inning didn't help.
He's got 4 strikeouts and 4 walks.
He's thrown 102.
Missed inside. Now it's 3-1. Mariners have taken the lead in Baltimore. Mariners 5, Orioles 4 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Seattle with 3 runs in the 5th inning to take the lead. Red Sox 6, Angels 1, bottom of the 5th. And a leadoff walk.
Well, you think we showed in our Sports Smart Play of the day, one of the catches made in left field. This one's made in center field. The sprint speed, how about that? This is Leonis Martin with tremendous speed, goes against the wall, bangs against the wall. He caught it at the 420-foot sign, which that is straightaway center field here at Comerica Park. So yes, you could say that most are 400, 410 max. This 420, and that's a home run any place except here. So the A's could have 4 more runs with a 2-run shot to left, 2-run shot to center.
Joyce hustling over. Matt Joyce gets there to make the catch. So Goodrum goes after the first pitch. He's out. 1 out. Here's John Hicks.
You know, Bob Melvin is thinking about this inning for Chris Bassett, and yes, pitch count approaching 100, making just his 4th start, back and forth between here and AAA. And if he could get through this inning, turn it over to the bullpen, see if they could get 9 outs to pick up the win for Chris Bassett, who's not had one since 15.
Hicks with a base hit and a ground out to 3rd. There's a strike outside corner. Off the foot.
Talk about somebody going down fast. It was off the instep of the left foot.
So Hicks will shake it off, take his time.
Steve Little's the bench coach, so he would be the acting manager with the departure of Ron Gardenhire for the 3rd time this year, ejected by Lance Barksdale.
Arguing balls and strikes, disagreeing.
Loudly.
Got him swinging. Bassett with his 5th strikeout. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts for Bassett.
Well, a good slow curveball, and looked like Hicks, who found the ball off his left foot, didn't want to have anything to do with this curveball, and I'm disappointed to think that Bassett's going to be coming out of this game soon. What are these fans going to do? They're cheering every pitch he makes.
Right. He's got his group from Toledo.
Yeah, let's hope he gets the out here and he can walk off and tip his cap to his group.
Griner rolls at foul. Grayson Griner, the catcher, he's 0 for 2. Griner, no homers and 5 RBIs. Has not played a whole lot.
See how good that curveball is from Chris Bassett, especially when it starts middle of the plate and breaks away. Hitters almost like they're mesmerized, frozen by the pitch coming in.
Barreto has it. Barreto will go to second. Pinder's there, and that will do it for the Tigers. Very good 6 innings for Chris Bassett. And we're going to the 7th. 1-0 A's.
Is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. Calling all adventurers, explorers, and thrill seekers. Become a member of Roaring Camp's new kids club today.
A's trying to make it 3 in a row over the Tigers. See, that guy's protecting the entrance, man. You better have a ticket to get in there. Chris Bassett could be done for the night.
Tell you what, if he's done, that's a great outing, except for the 5 walks. But to be able to pitch through bases loaded walks, basically in the 3rd inning, left the bases loaded. Just a couple of hits, no runs. And you'd have to think that the A's would turn it over to the bullpen after 6 excellent innings from their starter.
And for the Tigers, Fire's still out there as he faces Pinder, Barreto, and Fegley, 7th inning. So the late innings, man, the A's have controlled the late innings. I looked up what they've done, Ray, on this road trip, which they're 6-2 on the trip. And overall, they've outscored their opponents with tonight 1 run, 56-41. So they're outscoring them, right? But Martin going back again, still going back, and he catches this one.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Another great play by Leonis Martin. And this time he's getting up slowly. He looks like he's holding his right hip, right backside.
Well, great extension again by Pinder. This ball carrying, and for concentration by Martin, and kind of twisted himself a little bit as he made another fabulous catch. Lots of concentration, never took his eye off the ball. Looked like the right foot got banged underneath. Watch the right foot if you can see. But banged underneath where it's probably hard with the contact. And Fires said, I'm a lucky guy tonight. Yes, you are, Mr. Fires. Wow.
Well, the outfield defense for the Tigers has saved them a handful of runs tonight.
Absolutely.
So Pinder is just going to have to wear that one. So here's Barreto. Barreto pop up to second and hit by a pitch. Good curve by Fires in first strike. So Ray, on this road trip, from the 7th inning on, which is really where the A's have done their thing, they've outscored their opponents 23-8 from the 7th inning on this trip.
On this trip alone. Wow.
Yeah, so that's 23 runs in 8 games from the 7th inning on. That's a lot.
Wow.
Buck Farmer throwing. And it all started with that terrific game in San Diego.
That's right.
On Tuesday night when the A's were down 4-2 in the 9th. Oh, 2 pitch up and away. But numerous deficits that the A's have had to overcome on this trip. Some late, some early, but very large, and it has not slowed them down. Pitch number 100 coming up. And it's off the plate. But it is a resilient group. Two and 2 to Barreto. And he got him swinging on a foul tip. So here's some goodies on the comebacks. Of course, last night trailed 6-0, won 9-7. Second time in the last 4 games they've come back to win after trailing by 5 or more runs. That's tough to do. 13 wins in June. How about this one? Have scored the winning run in the 8th inning or later in 7 of the 13 wins in the month of June. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
54 runs in the 8th inning alone. 6 wins when trailing after 7 innings.
That's unheard of.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's unheard of. And even a couple of wins in trailing after the 8th inning.
Huh.
A's were down to the final strike in San Diego a week ago last night. Then blew them out a week ago today. Had their only rain out of the season, but played 2 on Friday in Chicago. Blew out the Sox in the first game. Probably should have won the second game. Fell behind Saturday, came back and won. I mean, it's just been a good trip.
A's now 22-18 on the road, so that's a very good road record. And a season high 4 games over 500. Another close pitch, 3-1. And a walk. So Fires got the first 2 outs, but he can't get Fegley. So that looks like the first walk for Fires.
Yes, it is. And that is Rick Anderson as a pitching coach now, which he's done this often as a pitching coach for the Twins. First night. And you know, the one thing when you have 2 pitching coaches, one guy in the bullpen and one guy in the dugout, and usually that happens. As the A's had Scott Emerson in the bullpen, Kurt Young on the bench. Maybe Rick doesn't know the 30-second rule.
He's not abiding by it.
No.
So his first day as the pitching coach of the Tigers. So Fowler will hit for the 4th time. He's 0 for 3. Fowler a foul out and a couple of strikeouts. First pitch in, first strike. I guess you could say Ray Fowler kind of in a platoon with Mark Canha.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly. And lefty righty, Canha's doing a good job in center field. So last night Canha started against the lefty Hardy. The righty came in. Fowler pinched hit in the 9th inning, got a base hit, would have gone in for defense.
Swing and a miss, and he threw that one by him. 91 miles an hour in the fastball. So Fowler strikes out for the 3rd time. 7th inning stretch time coming up.
And with 3 hands catch, the Tigers become the 3rd team in series history to be down 3 games to 1.
All right, here's our Coors Light refreshing finish indeed. The 1968 World Series. Bill Freehan with the catch off the bat of Tim McCarver, and the Tigers beat the Cardinals in Game 7. And it was a Game 7. Remember, Bob Gibson and Mickey Lolich squared off in a classic pitcher's duel. And Lolich got the better as he pitched the 3rd complete game of the series, and he was the series MVP. So Tigers were down 3-1. They came back and they had to beat Gibson in Game 7, and they did.
And Mayo Smith, 50 years ago, it's been 50 years since they won it in 68, but Mayo Smith, the manager, said to Mickey Lolich, can you give me an inning or 2? And he says, yeah, out of the bullpen. He said, no, he's a starter. And he said, he kept asking him, and finally Mayo Smith just walked away. Never could see him again because Lolich was doing it.
Mickey Lolich.
Yeah, he won 3 games in that World Series. Can you imagine in today's world, 3 starts in a World Series?
Yeah, that's true.
3 complete games on top of it. That is the year that Denny McLain won 31. But the interesting thing, Roger Maris, who of course hit the 61, scouted. He told the Cardinals, don't worry about Denny McLain. You have to worry about Mickey Lolich. Wow. And as it turned out, he was exactly right. But yeah, that was down 3-1. And Bob Gibson, he said that he's still upset that the mound was lowered because of his 1.12 earned run average after the 68 season. It was the year of the pitchers, as we mentioned briefly last night. Petit takes over for Bassett, who pitched great for 6 innings, and see if the bullpen can hold it for him.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. A little pop-up by Iglesias foul. 1-2 the count.
You know, Greg just sent a note saying the Tigers that year had a .235 team batting average and won a World Series. Wow. But you know, the sad note about that, Bill Freehan has been experiencing Alzheimer's for quite a few years, sadly.
That's too bad.
and his grandson, whose name is Blaze Salter. I hope I pronounced the first name correctly.
Up the middle. Barreto scoops his throw, not
Wow.
nearly in time. Iglesias runs well, and that's a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Thought that ball was going to hit him. Barreto could not made a better play. It's unfortunate he even got to the ball, but unfortunately it was the speed of Iglesias who was past the bag by the time really he picked it up and threw it. Long run, and it's like a protecting swing with a couple of strikes, with Iglesias taking the ball right over the pitcher's mound.
Here's Jacoby Jones, the 9th place hitter. First pitch fouled straight back. Finish your story, Ray.
Well, Bill Freehand, a great catcher. Unfortunately, I think he won the Gold Glove 5 times. But his grandson, Blaze Salter, had signed, and because of his grandfather, who dearly loved, and that is Bill Freehand, he stopped his career in baseball because of a couple of concussions that he had. And he's afraid that as many foul balls that his grandfather took off the mask, that maybe that contributed to his Alzheimer's. And he said, I'm going to give up a career in baseball. He stopped playing after a couple of times. So we wish Bill Freehand the best. And I was told today, Cap, that of the 25-man roster at 68 World Series, 12 are no longer living.
Really?
12 of the 25 no longer living. It is too bad. But a great World Series team, 1968. Jim Price, who's next door to us, catcher on that team, said he caught McLean a lot during that period of time. But it was, and also Mickey Stanley, who was here last night. They're bringing back a lot of the players from the 68 are still living. Stanley was an outfielder, became a shortstop of the World Series. Jim Northrup went to the outfield, and they said that the guys would take ground balls all the time, and because of an injury to Al Kaline, broken hand, missed a month, they brought Mickey Stanley in to play shortstop, and the first ball of the World Series was hit to him.
Of course. Lowry waits, and Lowry has it, so Jacoby Jones is retired. So 1 out here in the 7th. And now to the top of the order, Leonis Martin.
Okay, I'll never forget, 1969 was my first year in the big leagues, and we played the Tigers coming off the World Championship. And there was a writer in Detroit who I know but I will never name. But I'll never forget, after they just obliterated the Indians the first game of '69 season, first thing it said was, where's Bobby Avila, where's Lou Boudreau, and all those guys? And I'm saying, be careful. And sure enough, not that long after that, 119 losses. There's Al Kaline, number 6, and I understand he's having cataract surgery right now or today, and he's not going to be around for a couple of weeks. But a gentleman, as we're happy and fortunate to see all the time when we come into Detroit. Nobody better than Al Kaline. 1953, yesterday, on the anniversary of his first pro game, Joe Price said that he had to wear the Bat Boys uniform because nobody wanted to give him a uniform. First game, never played a day in the minor league baseball. Al Kaline out of Baltimore.
Keep an eye on Iglesias. He's got 12 steals. There's the statue of Al Kaline. He's got it.
He could do that often. Al Kaline.
Iglesias inches off. Not running. And the pitch is outside. Some Al Kaline footage. He could hit.
Oh, he could hit. Won a batting championship a couple of years after, as a teenager, I think.
That looks like it may have been the 68 World Series, right? Against the Cardinals.
Hanging curveball. See the
Al Kaline.
And Petit throws a fastball by Martin. Yeah, he's. I mean, we are so fortunate. Every time we come to Detroit, he's here. At 22 major league seasons, all with the Tigers. 399 career home runs, and what, 3 or 4 that were either rained out and could have been over 400, but did not take away from his induction into Cooperstown. Just a great gentleman, Al Kaline, and the voice of the great late Ernie Harwell's voice on the radio call.
So 1-1 to Leonis Martin. You wonder if the Tigers won't do something here. Start a runner.
Well, you know, we talked in this series about they don't hit a lot of home runs, but they do the little things to try to manufacture runs, and I agree with you.
Candelario is the on-deck hitter. Iglesias dancing around a little bit, not running, and it's a swing and a miss. So the count 1-2.
Got him swinging on a pitch outside off the plate, and that one really tailing away nicely.
Defense pretty straight away, and here's the pitch, just a little low. So 2-2 the count. Petit on after Bassett went 6 shutout innings. Petit pitched in game 1 of the series. Martin cues it foul toward Dave Clark. Dave Clark puts the ball in his pocket.
That's a good idea. Get rid of it out of your pocket, because you don't want somebody to think that you're taking the ball out of your pocket and put it in play. See, he's in his normal spot. When the runner gets a second, that's when he comes halfway down the third baseline.
Runner goes. Fegley's throw. Safe. Will Little looked at it for a while, the second base umpire.
You know, Bob Melvin's going to take the time and see what Adam Roden sees. See if the Iglesias, see, popped. You know, you got to hold the tag. We saw that in Chicago, but right there, look, he pops off the bag right there. If he hangs on, they're going to take a look at it and see if it got him, maybe even before that. Man, you know, not a bad idea. Take a chance.
Well, if you look at kind of where the game is at, it's the bottom of the 7th. It's 1-0, and yeah, you take a chance. I mean, you may not feel great about getting it overturned, but it's worth it.
Yep. Quick throw, and
where did he get him?
The thing is, did the front foot pop up before? Check the front foot, because the pop-up slide when it goes backside, it was the front foot. See, unfortunately, Little can't see it. That's why it's important, maybe, through the different angles they get. Here's the one here. See where his foot is and where he's tagged. See his foot up? If he's already tagged him, he's out.
He may be out.
Yeah.
Because Barreto tagged him right when he caught the ball.
Yeah, and Little, see where Little? He couldn't see that. He could not see that angle, and that's the different angle that New York is seeing that Little could not see. And that's probably why he hesitated when he did. It's like, what do I do? What I do? Call him safe. But it's one that. Now here's the pop-up. Watch the front foot and watch the tag. If he's tagged him, he got him right there. That's a good call. That's a great shot, Delaire. Because that is one. But if he hangs on when he popped up,
then he gets him for sure.
He gets him for sure. But his momentum actually carried him forward, so it might have been hard for him to go back. Big Ted Barrett, the crew chief. But the angles from behind are the key. Got it. Boy. Great call, Skip. Great call, Adam Roden. And great angles, guys, for the angles that they were able to see, because, you know, the thing is, this is the one. Watch the front foot. He tagged him right there. Got him with a tag, got him with a throw. Kyle, to your point, as soon as he caught it, he tagged him, and the foot was off the bag. But because Will Little was blocked, he couldn't make the call. He couldn't see the angles that they had. So that's in the case where the challenge works out great. Minute and 44 seconds out of the 2 minute that they say. And that is great throw by Fegley, considering the jump.
And then Martin pops it up. Joyce coming in, and it will be Matt Joyce. So
what a great
get the call at second base. And we are on to the 8th. 1-0 A's.
down than A's baseball and fireworks. Avoid the hassle of July the 4th with the A's. Free July 3rd fireworks after our 6:05 game. That's against the Padres, brought to you by Chevrolet. Here's what you got to do. Write this down, athletics.com/boom. That's right, boom, in honor of the Bay's best fireworks. And there they are, great patriotic music. July the 3rd at the Coliseum. Oh, wow. Nothing better than fireworks on the 4th of July. And what a great throw by Josh Fegley. And, you know, that's what you want to see out of someone who does not catch every day. And Josh Fegley just proved it right there. Blocking balls in the dirt, catching and calling a good game, and made a spectacular throw to second.
So we got a new pitcher for the Tigers. It's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. It's Joe Jimenez. Having a nice season, 3-0, 2.65 ERA for the big right-hander, Joe Jimenez. He's 6'3", 270. So Joyce will need a new bat.
How about Josh Fegley's StatCast? Check this out. There he goes, and there's a throw. 1.9 seconds. Exchange, 0.68. Arm strength. He could be a pitcher. 76 plus miles per hour. But you know, they talk about if you're under 3, I mean, under 2 actually, in which he was. But everything was perfect. That was a perfect throw, tagged by Barreto. And the challenge, perfect. All perfect.
0-2 to Matt Joyce. Joyce singled and scored the game's only run. That was in the 4th inning. Mariners still leading the Orioles 5-4, top of the 8th inning. Angels are coming back. Red Sox 6, Angels 4, bottom of the 6th inning. Reach for and foul back. Good outing for Tigers starter Mike Fiers. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, and a walk and 5 strikeouts, but he's not going to get a win. So he has not won a game since the 14th of May. And he pitched well tonight. Got a lot of help from his defense as he gets Joyce swinging, does Joe Jimenez. Tigers outfield has made some great plays.
Another good breaking ball from Jimenez, and check swing and a swing by Matt Joyce. He knew it. By the way, let's not mention that Chris Bassett about poor Mike Fiers hasn't won since May. You can see he hasn't won since 2015, including a Tommy John surgery.
Here's Lowry. No surprise, Jed Lowry. The only RBI in the game. His double scored Joyce. Lowry now, with his 1 for 3 tonight, is 12 for 37 on this road trip with 11 RBIs. Got 4 home runs. Course, he got off to that terrific start, and it wasn't just a couple weeks. It was about a month and a half. They cooled off a little bit, but now
Yes, he did.
in a nice hot stretch again. Jed Lowry,
And I think
decent chance to make an all-star team this year.
I think the surprising thing is the fact that he went about 6 weeks without hitting a home run. I mean, that period of time where he struggled a little bit offensively, but man, this month of June he's hit 4 after not hitting 1 since May the 11th in New York. But big hits, they don't have to be home runs. He did that on Monday, but last night with an RBI single, tonight with an RBI double. And unlike you, would like to see him in Washington, D.C.
Well, I'm just kind of looking through here. You know, Altuve's going to be voted in, obviously. Yeah. Robinson Cano's not. He's on the suspended list, so he's not a factor.
Torres with the Yankees.
I think Gleyber Torres has a chance to make it.
Yeah.
Whether he's a rookie or not, he's sensational. I think he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and you know, unfortunately, we have to go down to there has to be at least one from every team. And does a manager or the league say, okay, we need a starter, we need a closer, we need a position player, what do we need? And unfortunately, if you don't get voted in, you have to rely on what the needs are for your particular team.
2-2 pitch is line just foul. How about OPS on the road? Well, just look at the names in front of Judd Lowry. That's what I always like to do.
Yeah.
Lowry 7th on the list. OPS, of course, is the combined numbers of on-base percentage and slugging percentage. And if you're over 1,000, you're off the charts.
Yeah.
And Jed's pretty close. Just add up the two numbers. This one, right center. That's going to get down for extra bases. Jed hits the bag at first. Jed hits the bag at second. Jed puts the brakes on and stops at second. We're good with a double.
Because Jed's a doubles machine.
I don't blame him. Triple was not a sure thing.
Breaking ball with a couple of strikes, just like he did earlier. And Jed into right center. And you know, you heard somebody didn't like it. It wasn't Jed, because he definitely liked it. But you have to think with the dimensions in right center and left center here, that had to be a home run, probably at the Coliseum.
So 2 doubles for Lowry. He's got 23 doubles now on the year. I bring that up, Ray. Did you see how many doubles Eduardo Escobar has? He's the little infielder for the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, yeah.
33 doubles.
That would have been an inside the park home run for him.
He'd still be running. He's got 33 doubles,
wow.
And we're halfway through the season. He's
wow.
on pace to set the all-time doubles record.
That's right.
33.
Well, somebody like that can turn a single into a double.
That's true.
You know, because he's playing for a manager named Paul Molitor, who, in his career, he always said, when I hit a ball, I always think 2. And when you run hard to first base and you see any little thing happening in the outfield, the outfielder has to go left or right. That's just enough for him with his speed to be able to get to second.
0-2 pitch. Chris Davis high and foul.
And you know, you mentioned earlier about you play, you watch your manager. Well, if you know the history of Paul Molitor, which I'm sure all those guys playing for him have learned, that Molly always thought about 2. Well, not surprising he has a guy who, with that kind of speed, turns a lot of singles into doubles.
Yeah, and he turned doubles into triples.
Exactly.
0-2 to Davis. A little bit outside. Hey, Mike Minor, left-handed starter for the Texas Rangers. He's got a perfect game through 6 innings at home against the San Diego Padres. So something to keep an eye on. Mike Minor, the left-hander. Perfect game through 6. Davis fouls it back. Chris Davis 1 for 3. He singled back in the 2nd inning.
Single would be great right now because the A's would like to get an insurance run. Remember, Blake Trinan is not available tonight to close it out. The A's are hopeful that's Lou Trevino, which he's capable of doing, but it's the 9th inning. It's not the 8th. And many would say there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
It's a big difference. And there is Lou Trevino, and he had the night off last night. And this hanging slider hit hard off the master grinder, wearing the hockey style mask. See, with those you can turn your head and still get hit.
That's true.
But it won't hurt you as much as if you turn your head with a conventional mask. See all the protection on the side. In the town, the city of the Red Wings.
Davis again fouls it. This one off the signage over to our right, in front of the suite level. See, there we are.
You wave?
We're up there somewhere. 95 miles an hour from Jimenez.
You know, the nice thing about this booth is a real nice overhang above us. So when it rains, we don't get wet.
Yeah, we don't get wet here.
Yeah.
We like to rate the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
We rate them to each other.
Yeah, this is nice.
They said too bad. Pop up. And that'll be into the seats just below us.
Well, this at bat started 0-2. He got the 10th pitch coming up now with 5 foul balls off the bat of Chris Davis and making a productive at bat and driving a run.
Swing and a miss. Hard slider, 86 miles an hour. So 2 away with Lowry at second base.
Well, they left some pitches up except this one. This one thrown down and away. And Chris Davis could not make contact on the 10th pitch.
So here's Olson, who's 1 for 3, singled in the 6th. He pops it up. It should reach the seats, and it will. The crowd tonight, 23,961. Tigers on the year averaging 21,672. So that is down a lot from last year. That's down about 7,000 people per game. And sometimes weather has a little bit to do with it, at least in the early going, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
Big decrease.
A lot of that, too, has to do with the team.
Olson, way off the end of the bat, hits it into the upper deck. Had a little bit of rain in this game, but not much.
It's been a pleasant night. It is a little bit humid, like you mentioned, but cooled off for a while, but back to normal. Maybe just normal enough that a A's player can get a ball in the air that might travel out instead of being caught by an outfielder.
Olson had a good swing there, fouls it straight back on a fastball from Joe Jimenez. At that age, the little brother will do whatever she tells him to do. Let me bend your ears. Okay. No, it's good for your ears. This poor little guy. He's going to get tortured.
You speak
until he's about 10.
You're speaking from experience, aren't you?
Or 55. Olson fouls it left side again. So the A's are making Jimenez work. Whatever he ends up doing in the inning, they're making him work.
"11 of the 27 pitches have been foul balls with 2 strikes. With 2 strikes. And they're saying, hey, put him away or just groove one, let him hit it out. Jimenez trying to tell Grinder what he wants to throw. Cost him a mound visit to determine that.
Joe Jimenez got to the big leagues last year with the Tigers. And another foul ball. This one bounces right into the A's dugout. Big dugouts here at Comerica Park.
So big they can't see. That's why they put the benches up next to the rails.
They are big.
They are huge, yeah. They might be the widest, but you see the bench up where the guys are standing. They're sitting, and some sitting back on the benches behind.
Yeah, they could be. They may be the biggest dugouts in the league.
Well, considering they have the smallest at Tiger Stadium, maybe they are making a full.
That's a good point. That's right. And didn't they have the little pillbox for the bullpen on the right field line?
The Submarines. And like I said, if it rains, you better get out, because if you say you're going to wait it out, forget it. You'll drown.
You were going to wait it out.
That's right. You wait it out. Yeah, they were something else. Not only that, they had the overhang. You warm up a pitcher that was, if they throw things at you.
Olson hits it hard. And Goodrum's going to miss it. Olson's aboard, and stopping at third is Lowry. So the inning continues. Nico Goodrum just did not pick it up clean.
Cap, I still say when you're playing the outfield grass and the ball comes off the grass versus the dirt, makes a huge difference. I mean, he robs him of a base hit, but it throws him into the plate. But see, backhand. Why you backhand? You got to get in front of the ball. And he makes the strong throw to the plate, and Clay Lowry was going to try to score. But it is inning 4. Who was it? Which second baseman? Was Sogard somebody who started taking ground balls in the outfield grass because of that?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, you need to work on, if you're going to play there, you need to work on fielding there.
So this is Rick Anderson out again. So a couple of mound visits made by the Tigers this half inning. So the hitter will be Piscotty, an opportunity for the A's. That's Buck Farmer.
Well, Farmer was good last night, so it'd be a good idea for the A's if they can score here, take advantage of the mistake by Goodrum.
Piscotty cannot lay off. Hard slider. Maybe his best pitch.
Yeah. It's the one he put away Chris Davis.
Tried it again, and Piscotty did not go.
Boy, we have some great microphones, don't we?
Yep, we hear it all.
Everything. Hey, did he go? Nope.
Good call. He did not.
It was Lance Barksdale yelling down.
Missed again. So a lot of pitches now for Jimenez. 33. Lots of foul balls. The air certainly doesn't help. His 2 outs were strikeouts, so you got to get a little deeper into the count to get a strikeout. Lowry at third, Olson at first. And now 2-2, 97 miles an hour.
Well, you have to figure his put-away pitch is the slider, like you mentioned, similar to Mike Fiers, who started with the off-speed pitch. Think he's hoping for a hit?
Yes, he is.
Even better, a home run. That's a, got the big zoom.
He's done that a few times.
Yep.
One roll foul.
Well, it's nice when Steven said he grew up watching the A's, and as he was in right field, he looked up above in the plaza level above the A's dugout where they had season tickets, and so that lens probably helped the dad. But you're right about this year, especially watching him in the green and gold.
Hit hard towards second, and Goodrum flips it to second, and that will do it for the A's. So they threaten but do not score. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 3-2 for the Tigers as we have reached the bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Bassett was very good. Mike Fiers was very good, but he gave up the 1 run on a Lowry double. So Lowry, a big game, big series, big road trip. And the A's trying to hand the Tigers their 8th consecutive loss. Yusmeiro Petit back out there for his 2nd inning of work. So with no Trinan tonight, Bob Melvin is going to ask Petit to get 6 outs. Or try to get 6.
Yep. But I tell you, last inning, the overturn, and I don't care what the numbers are, that was a big overturn for the A's with a strong throw by Josh Fegley to get the caught stealing. Instead of having runner at 2nd and 1 out. Caught stealing, and next pitch a pop-up. So great throw by Fegley. Good big out on the overturn. And I agree with you, Kai. Challenge it. Why not? 7th inning. A big 90 feet, and they got the call.
1-2 now to Jeimer Candelario, who is 0 for 2 with a walk.
If you listen, you got somebody. Josh Fegley.
Oh.
Fegley got the extension down off his more part of his mask, which is good to cover his chin.
On deck is Castellanos and then Martinez. So the 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That's why this guy's important to keep him off the bases.
And it's high. So a changeup that is kind of floated up there. So 3-2. Toward Piscotty. Piscotty to his right. He's got it. Well, throughout the month of June, NBC Sports California explores Fair Play, the state of youth sports in America. Before they were major leaguers, players like this young man were simply kids being kids playing all sorts of sports. Who is it?
Well, he's old. It's black and white.
We'll review his identity later on in the inning. Well, it looks like an old school photo, but I don't think it is.
But it's Al Kaline. I mean, in honor of the 68 world champion Tigers.
Who is it?
I don't know. Al Kaline. I'll just take a guess.
Oh.
I mean, after all, you went with Don Cooper the other day in Chicago.
Ray Fosse.
Yeah, no.
Never know. Castellanos on the first pitch. Yeah, that's a huge out.
That is it. Finally.
So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. All right, who is it? Who is it? It's Mark Cannon.
Mark Cannon, a black and white. Come on.
Actually, he has not changed his stance.
No, he has not.
So make sure you watch Fair Play U Sports in America, brought to you by Geico, this Friday after A's postgame live. Two outs for Victor Martinez. First pitch to Martinez, outside. In Baltimore, Chris Davis of the Orioles just hit a 3-run homer.
Wow.
In the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Orioles lead the Mariners 7-5. How about that? A 2-out, 3-run homer by big Chris Davis.
You know, it's amazing, Kai, going on the disabled list. Ever since his return, he's back to himself. Yep. And getting hits, and that place that was offering shots for every hit he got is probably losing money.
So Wilson and Green.
The 3rd day in a row for Green. Green, if they tie and go in the 9th inning, he would try to get him back in the dugout.
Excuse me, Ray. Oh. Well, I'd like to give you good news all the time, Ray, but I can't. Because Kyle Seager just hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 9th.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Well, that was...
He did it off Zach Britton.
Wow.
Lefty on lefty.
Well, Seager's one of the better left-handed hitters against left-handed.
You're right. So that's a wild one. It's now 7-7 in the 9th inning in Baltimore.
So they've blown sane. So thanks for the good news, bad news.
I know. I gave you good news, and 30 seconds later, I gave you bad.
Hardly had the time to catch a breath.
Olsen scoops it up, and Yusmeiro Petit. How about that?
Yeah,
3 up, 3 down, 8th inning. 9th inning coming up. Still 1-0 A's.
Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So that's Lou Trevino. He's going to be the closer tonight. So he looks over lineup, scouting report. Marcus Jensen, so he'll be ready to go. So 1-0 A's lead. It is the top of the 9th inning. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Alex Wilson comes in. Alex Wilson has pitched now in all 3 games in this series with his appearance tonight.
Yep.
And he's done a pretty good job. Pinder toward right, but Castellanos is right there. So 1 away here in the 9th. The Tigers bullpen in game 1 through 4 innings. Last night through 5 innings. Tonight, just an inning so far from Jimenez and now Wilson. Franklin Barreto 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and he takes a strike.
And that's a slider that's unhittable. Takes it, call a strike, and tip your hat. There's not much you can do with it.
Another strike, and now it's 0-2. Barreto did not agree. Franklin Barreto is 2 for 10 in this series. Tough night last night. He struck out 4 times. Grounds this one toward Iglesias, juggles, throws, and it's not in time. There's the great speed by Barreto. A little juggle by Iglesias, but I don't think it would have mattered.
You know, the great thing, the swing, he's out of the batter's box, but ball popped up and did not get as much on the throw, but Frankie can run, and with that swing, showing the sprinter speed down the baseline and a little stutter step to get to the bag. Hey, you smell a hit. That's good. That's a 1 for 3 night instead of an 0 for 3. So good hustle by Frankie.
7 hits now for the A's, just 3 hits for the Tigers. And here's Fegley, who's 0 for 2. Walked in the 7th, threw a base runner out. And he's done a heck of a job behind the plate. Navigating Chris Bassett through 7 shutout innings.
I like that word, navigating, because that's exactly what you do. And you know, the interesting thing, had a note that Chris Bassett talked about Stephen Vogt back in 2015. He was quoted after the game by saying, "I had nothing, and Stephen Vogt got me through." Sure. And so he navigated, basically, just like you said. Now Chris Bassett tonight probably had some pretty good stuff, but it takes a catcher to recognize those pitches, and obviously Voter did back in 2015. Last time Chris Bassett won a game.
That's a fair ball down the third baseline by Fegley. Here comes Barreto, and they're waving him home. And Barreto's going to score, and the A's get a huge insurance run here in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, and there's your speed by Franklin Barreto. And actually, kind of looking down the dugout, the skipper stood up and was cheering. That's special because Matt Williams sent him. Josh Fegley with a big double down the line, give him a ribby. But Matt Williams getting down the line, watching as Jones got to the ball. And this was all on Matt Williams. Right there, the ball kicked back just enough as Franklin Barreto on the move, running hard. You run hard to the third base coach, pick him up. He's going to send you and just keep going. That is tremendous speed. Got the pop, got the speed, shows it off there. Great hit by Fegley. And Barreto started it with an infield hit.
Fowler shows bunt and takes a strike. Fowler 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts tonight, so he's looking for his first hit.
Kepa, I think we always appreciate what a third base coach can do, because it's kind of a thankless job. But Matt Williams, tell you what, he's been very aggressive. And I think with Bob Melvin standing and cheering, it might have been just as much for Matt Williams as it was for Josh Fegley and Franklin Barreto, because that's a gutsy call by a third base coach. And Matt Williams made the call, aggressive with the base runner, scored the extra run.
Right center, and it's hit a ton. And that baby is gone. No, it's going to be an RBI double. It banged off the out-of-town scoreboard. I don't know how it didn't get out.
I don't either. And I was hoping it did, because the A's are down to the last inning to try to keep the streak alive. But I agree with you. If there was going to be one that's going to go out, that would have been it. It did score Fegley a breaking ball. And after 3 strikeouts and a pop up to third base, this ball looked like it was gone, and then banged right above the scoreboard. Wow. Deepest part of the park. Man, the A's have hit several tonight that should have gone out, but unfortunately none has gone out yet. So the A's get yet another insurance run. Last night Fowler did it with a base hit. Tonight he does it with a double.
And there's a line shot right at Iglesias by Joyce. So 2 away.
Time now for the Chrysler Drive the game. Jed Lowry. I mean, we're talking about this inning, but it all started back in the 4th inning when Jed Lowry did this. And yes, rolling. Creedon Stillwater, right?
That's right. Something like that. So here is Lowry.
Wow.
Lowry takes in the dirt.
Okay, from my vantage point, to see the ball about a Fowler, nobody was going to catch it.
Nope.
And it's just a matter of hoping it would travel over. I thought it hit enough. But, man, this park is huge. And if you don't hit it down the line, in this case, don't hit it into that area that's jutted out. it's hard to hit a home run.
Well, we were trying to get a home run.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just trying.
No,
27 consecutive road games with a home run for the A's, but that's in jeopardy right now. But that's okay. It's a 3-0 game.
Absolutely. And I think the skipper would give that up to hang on and win this game tonight. Getting 6 strong out of Bassett, 2 strong out of Petit.
So 2-1 now to Lowry. 2 for 4 with 2 doubles for Lowry. Well, the Angels have come all the way back to tie up the Red Sox.
Wow.
What is going on tonight? 6-6 in the bottom of the 7th. The Red Sox were leading 6-0.
That is unusual for them in their park.
Seipold starts to throw. He pitched last night. You wonder too, Ray, with Alex Wilson, who pitched pretty well the first 2 games in this series, but it's not easy for a reliever to pitch 3 days in a row, and he's getting knocked around here.
Jed takes back the thank you he said back early whenever he asked for time, and he was granted time because that pitch was out of the strike zone, and I don't know that he was thanking Lance Barksdale that time.
Missed outside, so Lowry gets the walk. So he's been on base 3 times after being on base 5 times last night. So 2 on, 2 out for Chris Davis. The A's have added 2 insurance runs here in the 9th inning, and that is huge.
Well, June 14th was the last home run for Chris Davis. Will he be the one to keep the streak alive?
In the dirt.
I mean, you think tonight, Cap, the ball was robbed off Olson's bat early.
That's true.
And then the 2 in straightaway center. This is Casilla, so they might think about if they can score more runs now that Casilla comes in and Trevino ends up getting an extra day off. If it stays at 3, more likely Trevino comes in, try to close it out in the 9th.
High fly ball down the right field line. Castellanos near the seats, and it drops into the seats. So the count even at 1-1. Davis 1 for 4. Had a single way back in the 2nd inning.
But I think of Olson, 2 to center, 1 to right center. That's 4 balls at normal parks, other than the size of this one, other than maybe Yankee Stadium. Could have been home runs. So maybe KD can crush one and keep it going.
Grounds this one up the middle. Iglesias dives. He flips with his glove. The good run. And what a play by the Tiger shortstop, Jose Iglesias. 2 runs for the A's, and they're big runs. It's 3-0.
Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by SoFi, a modern finance company.
So Josh Phegley, a big night. He helps the A's with an insurance run with an RBI double. Fowler followed that up with a double, so the A's now lead it 3-0. And Lou Trevino, a save opportunity. He's got one this year, so he'll be looking for his second.
And you know, the blown save was in Chicago. He came at the bases loaded, 1 out.
So it was an 8th inning blown
Yeah,
save, right?
yeah. That was the Moncada ground ball that allowed the tying run to score, which was one of those kind of impossible type of saves.
So he'll face Goodrum, Hicks, and Griner. He's trying to win it for Chris Bassett. His last win again, August 4th, 2015.
Yep. And, you know, we talk about an 8th inning guy and 9th inning and the difference. And the one thing Trevino knows is he finally gets a strike after the 3rd pitch. But if you're pitching the 8th inning, you don't have anybody to back you, or the 9th inning, you don't have anybody to back you up. Since Blake Trinan, who is at a 0.93 earned run average. And of course, Trevino in that category too. He's pitching well.
Drilled to center. Fowler coming in left center. He's got it. So 1 away.
How about Franklin Barreto? Check him out from first base. He's going to run. Check him out. 28.3 feet per second. First to home in 10.45 seconds. That is flying, folks. Didn't even have to slide. So Franklin Barreto hustled down the line to beat out an infield hit. Scores on the Phegley double. And nice job by Matt Williams setting him to score.
100 miles an hour on that first pitch to John Hicks.
Yeah, he needed 4 pitches to loosen up.
Yeah, he's ready. 0-1 pitch, well off the plate. A's post-game live coming up after the ball game. A's trying to win for the 9th time in their last 11 games. Foul back, so Trevino jumps ahead in the count 1-2. That's Griner. Mariners Orioles extra innings 7-7. Hicks reaches for that one, pokes it foul down the right field line. Day game tomorrow. It will not be televised by us. You'll be able to see it on the MLB Network. Sean Manai and Michael Fulmer. So that's a good matchup. A couple of good young pitchers. Lowry's got it. Fair ball across the diamond in time. 2 away. But more importantly, Ray, you can listen to it on 95.7.
Yeah.
The Game. Ken, Vince, Ray. That's probably what you want to do.
Yeah, that's a trifecta you'd like to bet on all the time.
Oh, all the time, every time. I got money on you three. I'm going to go over to the casino before the game.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to bet on whether you're going to have a great show tomorrow, and I'm betting that yes, you are.
Well, and I'm just going to bet that you're going to make the plane because you don't want to miss going home.
No, I do not want to miss that.
No.
It's a quick homestand, but it's a good homestand.
That's right.
The Indians coming to town, and then a little 2-game series against the Padres, 4th of July. Good holiday to be home on. And then the A's next Thursday will head to Cleveland. So we'll see a lot of the Indians in the next 10 days. So playing well, which the A's certainly are, going into a series against them. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Now, you know they're going to play one. I just read today there's some of the experts talking about certain trades that might be made. And, of course, the trading deadline is July 31st. That's the non-waiver trading deadline. And the Indians, I want to say something. They were talking about somebody they were trying to acquire or thinking about. But if they do, maybe it'd be after the AC because
that's true. Wait a while.
Wait till after the at least the All-Star break.
So 1-2 to Griner. Trevino trying to finish it off.
Fastball in, take the hard sinker down and in.
Good pitch though, 98 miles an hour, man. Looks like Trevino maybe even running it up there a little quicker tonight even.
Well, the amazing thing between he and Trina, you talk about an easy 98 to 100 miles per hour. That's the amazing thing. If you're a hitter, you're thinking, oh, this is just an easy delivery, and then it's on you already.
Strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. So a nice quiet bottom of the 9th inning, and the A's are heating up big time as they win for the 9th time in their last 11 games. 5th shutout of the year for the Athletics, and give Chris Bassett a win, a long-awaited win, and give Trevino his 2nd save. 3 hours and 11 minutes was your time of game. 23,961 was the attendance. All good in Detroit tonight as the A's beat the Tigers 3-0. Time now for A's post-game live. Brody Brazil, take it away.